there was Schoenthal Center long before this place. Yeah. Daddy Schoenthal bought that place, and it was a mansion, you know. And they had a great big, in the back, it was like a garage. They made it into a gymnasium, and that's where they had the basketball games. We took exercise classes. Well, they also played volleyball outside.
When I was a youngster, I used to walk from my house on 22nd Street to the Schoenthal Center on Rich Street. We thought nothing of it.
And I think the number was 555 East Rich Street, as I recall.
We actually sort of grew up at Schoenthal Center. We were there all the time, and it was like a second home.
And on Sunday, I went to Sunday school there, and I was confirmed there. I did everything Schoenthal. I took dancing lessons there. We did everything there.
I enjoyed the Schoenthal Center for many years as a child, and as I recall, it was a wonderful place to meet your friends and to have club meetings like Young Judea and any type of club that the Jewish community offered was probably initiated or had meetings at the center.
There were, you know, different rooms where they had different meetings. They had YMHA.
During the Second World War, there was a canteen where the fellas, the soldiers and sailors who were in town would come, and there would be Jewish ladies who would make wonderful meals, and it was enjoyed by all who attended.
They had a big kitchen, and we also had cooking lessons there. I think we made bread and cookies and easy things.
It was a very community-related organization for all ages.
Big mansion with a lot of rooms. It had a third floor, and we used to have our place at the 1,000 players. And it was a dance floor, I guess.
And also upstairs, that was where they had the dances, where they had, oh, I can see it now. That's where the confirmation was. Now, I remember when it started, they had citizenship lessons there. And my father got his citizenship. I think my mother did too. And it was important to these people that came from Europe and were not educated. And they also had English classes. I think my father learned to write there because Papa used to go at night. Miss Sugarman, did anybody tell you about Miss Sugarman? She really ran the place.
Rose Sugarman was director, and Leah Rosenfeld was director of social work.
My whole life really was built around Schoenthal Center, and so was my brother's. I look forward for school to be out so I could go to camp. I went to camp when it first opened. It was wonderful. We loved it. The boys went by themselves and the girls. And then we put our suitcases under our cot. They were cots, you know, that could fold up. I can just see it right now, that each cottage ate together. Then on Friday, we had services.
Very recently, we went out to look at what Schoenthal Camp was, and there is very little there, if anything, where the camp used to be, except the cemetery that we were all kind of afraid of, that's right in the, when you first go in, was more occupied.
Isn't it wonderful that one person could have such an effect on a whole community? He had the vision that a town like this with the amount of Jewish people needed. Dear old Daddy Schoenthal, here's a message from us all. We always loved you, Dad, right from the start. You have forever a place in our heart. When we saw your beaming smile, it just made our life worthwhile. God bless you, Dad, and rest in peace, dear old Daddy Schoenthal.
My father, Abe Yankin, was chairman of the site committee that selected the site for this whole campus, and then chairman of the building committee. So there was a lot of talk in our home about the new Jewish Center and the excitement.
My father was the first president of the Jewish Center.
Mayor Rosenfeld was the first executive director of the Jewish Center, and I came along as his wife, which was a wonderful thing for me. The center wasn't quite finished when he came on board. Mayor lived right across the street from the Jewish Center when he was a young boy, 600 East Rich Street. And so he was over there all the time. So it was almost for sure that he should be director there.
It was the first time that the teenagers that had come from the Orthodox community were able to be with the teenagers from the conservative community and the teenagers from the Reform community, and those who lived in Bexley and those who did not live in Bexley. And it was just great. We all came together, and we used to be here Saturday night for dances. And it was one of the great things about the Jewish Center. It brought us together in a way that we probably never would have gotten to meet each other in such a natural, way. And in the summertime, we'd all be here swimming also.
I remember how nice it was to have that Jewish Center, to meet others and to get involved and good things happening. And I think we looked forward in those days to just being together because we had much less to get involved in, and that was the main thing for us. Go to the center and find things that you were interested in doing, such as bowling and just having meetings and so on.
And my favorite memories of the center are many. There was Sunday fun time when we were a kid in elementary school. There was bowling at the bowling alleys when we were older. There were the swim parties and the obligatory dance classes with Mr. Nolte.
I have fond memories of the JCC. As a youngster, even preteen, I think I bowled in the bowling lanes, which I really miss. And my favorite memory is the Heath bar machine. I love those ice cream Heath bars, and I miss them dearly.
Tell you something, when we were in Boston, nice girls didn't bowl. When I came here, everybody was the nicest people, all my friends, all the Jewish girls, they were bowling with. Eventually, it got to a point where I started bowling with them, and it was a pleasure going to the bowling alley.
When my oldest child was probably 10 or 11, they used the center practically every day, especially in the summertime. They were on the football team, the basketball, the baseball. They were very active.
And then I remember being among the first to clear the stones off the back property to make baseball diamonds. And I would say there were about 50 of us that spent days picking up every rock and stone in what was just a dirt field in those days.
If you talk to people who are young adults even today, I think you'll find that they remember the center as a place that they enjoyed playing at and having fun at, and you had some place to go and meet friends.
I used to come from the South End on 2 buses with my sisters in the summer to take swimming lessons and to hang out at the pool.
I used to go for water aerobics.
I was very active in coming every day. I'd go swimming. I swam for 30-some years every day.
I came to the Jewish Center, joined, learned to swim, dive off the board, whatever was necessary, and have been a member ever since.
I remember taking swimming lessons at the center when I was little, and I remember when I first made it to Polly Walk. That was very important. I got a little round kind of plastic sticker that I sewed onto my bathing suit. My mom sewed onto my bathing suit, and that was a very big deal.
And then my first real job was at the snack bar at the JCC, where I would come home smelling like French fries, and my mom would try to do the wash over and over again and couldn't get the smell out. And still from today, when I smell French fries, I think of the JCC snack bar.
All my children were born here, and all of them went to the preschool at the Jewish Center when Rose Schwartz was the director of the preschool, and got them all eating vegetables, and I found out the secret. She added sugar to the vegetables when she cooked.
Later on, when I had my children, we started with a preschool and camps for the kids, and they always found a place to enjoy, to be happy, to meet with Jewish people.
My son Benjamin spent many years in the preschool program at the JCC.
I went to preschool here, I know that, and I remember taking the bus here and all the activities that I had, but I've been here for many, many, many years for many, many, many activities.
My daughter used to go to preschool in the old building, and my fondest memory is that you used to drive down the side and there was an alcove and someone came out and took your child out of the car, and then you never had to get out of your car.
When I was in 6th grade, or sometime around 6th grade, I was in a gallery tween production of Damn Yankees, but because we were in 6th grade, we weren't allowed to call it Damn Yankees, so we called it Pennant Fever.
There was a group of women here, Bea Roth, Rhea Kaplan, who had tremendous interest in theater. Harold loved the theater beyond any limits, and it was a meeting arranged in heaven for the women and for Harold, because they each had a tremendous gift to give one another.
I was one of the mamas in Fiddler on the Roof, the first production they did, and I had one line in the show. I was in the chorus. I had one line, "Why not?" I know every song. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the days. Evening turns overnight to sunrise, blossoming even as we gaze.
Is this the little boy at play? I don't remember growing older. When did they? Where did she come to be a beauty? Where did he get to be so tall? I don't remember growing older. When did they?
In Russia, we never had a chance to celebrate wedding in Jewish tradition. And when we came here, Berlin Rice, she's not with us anymore. She made this program for people who came from Russia to celebrate wedding in Jewish tradition. And it happened to be, it fell on my anniversary. It was 21 anniversary, and we were one of participants of this Jewish wedding.
Our boys went to camp, and one of our sons taught sailing.
Also went to camp, day camp, Co-JC, Camp O-Raw, and Nitzani, and I was at least 6 summers I spent going to day camp.
Came to Columbus in 1953 as a bride. The next summer, I worked at the Jewish Center in Camp O-Raw. My husband played baseball, and subsequently our 6 children all went to the preschool with Rose Schwartz and our grandchildren. My father was at the Jewish Center when he was in town, so we are a 3-generational family and feels it's really the center of the community.
As soon as he came home from work or the kids were through with Hebrew school and such, we used to come to the Jewish Center. I used to pack a dinner basket, and we'd eat out on the grass or around the pool.
We used to do that too sometimes.
They spent most of their young lives at the Jewish Center.
Great place for have a social life. A lot of us took ballroom dancing in 6th grade and got our introduction to the social scene.
I started teaching at the Columbus Hebrew School in 1968. We had our teachers' meetings in the JCC.
And my favorite memory of the JCC is BBYO days when I was in high school. I was in Bat Shalom, and we hang out every Tuesday night. It was really the highlight of the week. Still have good friends from BBYO days, and in fact I married a guy I met who was in Capital, AZA, and when we were in high school, and we've been married for 32 years.
I met my first wife in the bowling alley in the old place.
I was involved in the teenage years with all the clubs at the Jewish Center, and that's where I met my husband, actually, when he was working in the bowling alley at the Jewish Center.
I think that my fondest memory of the Jewish Center here is the fact that we did meet there, and that was some 59 years ago or so. And I haven't lost sight of her since.
It was a home away from home. I wish I could say something brilliant about it, but I still miss it.
I enjoyed it and have a happy 100th anniversary Jewish Center.